Ring, 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 hello, simps. What are you doing? Virgins and vegans
Dogs.
and dogs and doggies. And welcome back to Krown's magical, very sexy, extremely seductive, Adoption Cave.
No dog hello today. He's out. He's been banned from the oh no, there he is. We got a flying dog coming into the picture right now. That would be Lucky, and his name is Lucky because if he wasn't so fucking cute, we'd all kill him. Anyways, sorry, just kidding. Okay, it's a bad attempt at humor. That's all that it is. Anyways, I learned a new terminology in Finland of which if you want to call someone the R word, but you want to use a bit of a euphemism for it, you'd say that they're a Monday piece. The reason why I found that out is because Elsa's sister came over yesterday and was commenting on Lucky the dog, saying that he is indeed a lucky piece, and I haven't been able to lose it ever since. Anyways, we do have a few things to be speaking about today. I suspect that today is going to be rather on the slow side, seeing that it is kind of it is a holiday. Quite literally, it's a holiday. It's Good Friday, so happy Good Friday to everyone celebrating out there. Pin my message. I pin your message. Just fucking post it. Hey, what's up, Mr. Alex Switch? I see you over there, man. Well, morning gang. And dog, yes. Hey, hello, dog. He doesn't speak English. However, he speaks Finnish, so you have to say, moi, karda. And then they respond, but they don't actually know their fucking names. They just know your voice anyways. That's just what dogs do, man. That's just what dogs do. What's up, Capo Tigre? Good morning to you, man. And happy holidays, everyone out there. Nice kitty. Yes, meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, indeed, sir. Mr. T, there he is. Ice Sniper 33, Charles Fucks. Dissynthetic, nice name right there. Actually, a little bit more difficult to say as well. Yoshi, I recognize that. Oh, Mr. Derek M, the fucking good old OG, man. Good to fucking see you, brother. Hope everything's all well in your side of the world. Man, it is during these times, it's where I typically run into a lot of the more OGs, because we were born in this sort of a portion of the market cycle back in 2017, 2018. See a lot of, I see Willis, nice memes over there in the Discord, brother. Just was checking that out right before the stream started. Jack Esman, good morning to you, my friend. J Day says, morning, is Binance still running futures in Finland? I don't know, I don't trade on shitty ass Binance, so you have to ask someone else. I trade on Bybit. I actually quite do like Bybit. This would be a good time to shill them as well. I have to give them their due diligence, obviously, because they're actually invited us to Monaco next month, which I'm really excited about. But yeah, I mean, they have the most what's it called, the most liquidity for like actual like futures and perps trading. So that is why I actually prefer them. As always, though, look, they give you deposit bonuses, of which I do have one. Yes, in the link description below, there's the old shill right there. They give you deposit bonuses to get you onto the exchange, get you hooked, do the old gambling, no trading, and okay, I pin your message, and then they got you for life basically. But it's all well and good, man. Anyways, I don't even see Elsa's message right there. Looks like it's gotten lost, but that's okay. Oh no, I found it. Please read me, sir. Thank you for the warning on it. All right, sweet. So I'll just scroll back down over here. I don't think it's going to be a humongous issue today anyways, because I do suspect that things are going to be rather slow. Like I said, it's a holiday. We just had a mostly down week, so typically after a mostly down week into a holiday, it's going to be flat, maybe a bit of a bouncy bounce to play out the weekend, and then next week the inevitable very likely does occur, or perhaps over the next few weeks, of which we're going to be going over some pretty big signals for that, of which are going to be confirmed or not tonight, but basically tonight is the big night, if you will. That's really going to start to edge the probabilities and possibilities of what I'm looking for in the next month and a half to come. In terms of where price action is likely to land towards. Anyways, I got a shit ton of caffeine over here, so I need to desperately drink it because I have not been getting good sleep this week. It's actually been really ugly ever since like the season started to change into spring. I don't know. I feel like naturally, intrinsically, you start to feel the seasons change, and I don't know. You just start waking up earlier, and the sleep just gets fucked up. So I think we got another like week of this, and then it goes back to normal, I suspect. I'm watching this drivel on my TV, baby. This better be fun. Well, I cannot promise you that, sir, but I'll try my best. This is your entertainment for the morning. That's right. This is not financial advice. This is entertainment. This is entertainment purposes, sirs and sirs. Anyways, the midnight sun is coming. Oh, dude, it's already bright here until like 9:30. It's insane. It's fucking insane. It really drives me crazy. Like, in case you don't know, in Finland, during about June, It's literally sunny as if it was midday, noon at all hours of the day. That means, like, quite literally, this is not an exaggeration by any stretch of the imagination. You can walk outside at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in about June, and there's no difference between that and the afternoon time. It's insane. It's fucking insane, and it drives me crazy is the biggest issue with that. Anyways, I'm going to waste a few more moments over here as I sip some more of this caffeine, and then we'll get right into it. Nikki Page replaced by Lucky. Yeah, I suspect Nikki's probably she's probably enjoying the holiday, I imagine, as probably most people should be. But hey, if you don't have a family like me, then you can come here and hang out with us, and we can look at some fucking drab internet money as we do trade mostly sideways, I suspect, over the weekend. Sorry, Elsa's my family as well, but you know what I mean, okay? That is indeed true. Hey, what's up, Matador MC? Give him the rhino treatment. Oh dear Lord, man. Sounds like Alaska. Yeah, I'd imagine very similar because I think that we're kind of on the same sort of latitudinal or longitudinal. Actually, I don't know. I think it's latitude line, something like that, man. All right, we'll get to all of these comments soon enough, my friends. It looks like Elsa's already recording them over here on the Discord, so that is good. It's got them all nice and set up, but we do need to get through the opening morning ceremonies with Bitcoin first. I need to sip some more of this. Dude, I am working like a working man. You work? What the fuck was that noise? Oh, dogs going crazy. Lucky owns Doggy Coin. He very well could. He very well could. He'd be a good poster boy for that stupid fucking meme bullshit. Anyways, cotton about to be a luxury textile. Huge ass titties. There he is. What's up, man? Good morning to you as well. Winters are probably crap, right? Yeah, the winters here, it's the opposite. So all day, it's literally dark for like a week or two in December. You know, you go out at like noon basically, and it is quite literally dark as if it was midnight. It's pretty insane. Can we please have some Polygon TA? I don't know, if someone asked for it, yeah, we could probably get into it. Like I said, today's probably gonna be slower, so we could probably get into some of the regular comments as well, and it wouldn't be a major issue. Again, I'm just wasting this caffeine over here. Like I said, I really actually do need it today. It was not a good night's sleep. Garrett Evans says, finally get to watch this live. Yeah, I imagine we got some more Americans here, as you probably get Friday off, I'm guessing. Probably getting Good Friday off, right? But yeah, it's like nothing really closes down anyways nowadays during the holidays. I mean, especially in America, like even on Christmas, right? The Christmas day, like everything's fucking open nowadays. It wasn't that way when I was a kid. We were actually talking about that last night. And, you know, here in Finland, it is still kind of that way. Like on Sundays, some you know, a lot of shops don't even open, and the ones that do typically have like shortened hours. But back there in America, like it's just business as usual, man. It's business as fucking usual. Do you have a TA call group? No, I do not. And if someone's like trying to get you into one with a similar name to mine, it is not me. I don't have any sort of secret I don't have any secret like Discords or secret Telegrams, or I don't have any sort of funds that I trade for other people. I'm more than happy to be trading my own funds. I was considering at some point, after I get a few more projects done, I might offer like a weekly, like a bi-weekly meeting for an hour each, with like a very small amount of people, and I think that might be something that I might be interested in doing, but it wouldn't be me like trading for you or calling for you as well, because I don't believe that you can actually have like a trading calls group. The reason why I say that is because, one, we're all on different schedules. Two, we all have different time frame preferences and strategy preferences. And three, it's like if you want to trade like me, then you have to be able to trade on all of the same platforms as me and everything like that, which everyone's naturally going to have different sort of preferences and just, you know, availability with that anyways, depending upon your geographical location. So I don't think that it can really reasonably done. And also, that's not really the message that I want to be having either. Like, I think the best way to be handling this sort of content, and I understand that people are going to disagree with this, but I think the best way to really be handling this is to explain what I do and why I do it, not because I'm infallible, not because I'm perfect. I'm certainly not. I'm not a perfect trader. I take plenty of losses. I can assure you of that. But the idea is that over time I can make an actual gain. And so I never want to be, you know, presenting that sort of a face. Anyways, I forget where I was going on with that. Well, fuck it. But we do have the secret TA channel. We do have the secret TA channel. Actually, had to get rid of that, man. It was causing a lot of issues on Discord. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. Full moon is here. This shit is going up soon. Thank you for the TA. Sure. I don't know if the moon's been working that well recently, though, so we can say that. Anyways, let me make sure that I got my notes ready over here. I do. Okay, excellent. I'm going to take one last sip of this, and then we'll get right into it. Alrighty, so here we start off with Bitcoin, of course, as always. Starting off in the short-term time frame. So I want to follow up on the last 24 hours of price action. We were identifying some potential hidden bearish divergence yesterday, right here. I think it was better seen on CME. And yes, it was confirmed on that move down below about $41,000. So that did initiate our targets down to the base of our current range, that being about the low $39,000. That has been fulfilled. And so where does that kind of lead us on for, the next week to come, of which there is a humongous signal building up that will be confirmed or not confirmed potentially as soon as tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time, which is going to be the big focus of today's video. Now, for the short-term timeframes, keep in mind that we are, basically on a holiday right now. And during holidays, things are typically slow. Things are typically uneventful. Things are typically sideways for what it's worth. So in this case, I really don't want to be focusing too much on the short-term timeframes. But as far as the range goes, it's actually the same thing as before. Now, I do suspect that Bitcoin very likely does retest the bottom side of this range yet again. Sorry, the LARP lines from yesterday played out, so we can just get rid of them. We don't need them right there. Okay. Goodbye, LARP lines. It was nice knowing you. Fuck off. Anyways, in this case, I do suspect that we probably get maybe another wick down around here. Over the weekend or today, something like that. And then probably hold the range overall. The range being between about, not this low, it would be a little bit higher than this. The range being between about $41,000, the breakdown level from yesterday, and as a ceiling, and the bottom at about $39,200, our current lows of this week. In this case, I'm actually going to get rid of this right here. I do think it would be appropriate to be a little bit more on the aggressive side, but ultimately, I wouldn't be calling any sort of major move to the upside in this case, even from a short-term time frame perspective, until at minimum you're seeing 4-hour dildos being closed above $41,000. If Bitcoin can do that, which this is a big if, I'm not saying that it is, I'm just saying that if it were to do that, as I get rid of our rejection notifications right there, from yesterday, I would be looking for a nice leg up, actually, somewhere between about $42,500 to $43,000, which would have major implications as we're going to look at on the higher term timeframes. Now, again, this is all hoping right now. I do lean a little bit more on the bearish side, probably coming into the next couple of weeks. But again, until we actually get validations on these sort of ideas, I do not act on them myself. And I mean, to be quite frank, I actually don't trade these higher term timeframes anyways. I trade lower term timeframes for my own self, but it is kind of fun to do the general analysis on YouTube here. Anyways, as far as this goes, what do we see on the 4-hour time frame? 4-hour RSI is obviously weak right now, probably, and that is kind of making me think that we do get another test down around here. I do not think that we have the momentum to actually break the current lows in this case. So what does that essentially mean, or what would that imply? Well, that would imply that we would have a full-on break of our current lows with any sort of a 4-hour closure. Maybe even an hourly as well would be good enough, although I would probably adjust the targets a bit, below about 39,200. If that condition is met, then I would be looking for a big move down for the lower term timeframes, somewhere between about 37 to 37,500-ish region, basically the lows of what we did see from early March and in February right here. I would be looking for a move like that. Again, I do think that the most likely thing to happen right here is just sideways over the weekend, most likely sets it up for a move coming into next week. We are about to see a contraction phase on 4-hour BBWP. Also makes me think that we probably just play out the range for what it's worth, at least, for the majority of today. So with that in mind, let's go reference short-term timeframe stochastic momentum, see if there's anything that's obvious right now. And we do see that 6-hour will show pressure down with any sort of a closure below 40,300. Obviously, Bitcoin's trading below that right now. It's a lot of time left to go until closure, 35 minutes. So yeah, certainly more on the downside for one more test of the downside. 4-hour time frame is obviously nosediving, as we did identify from yesterday, off of that break of our current short-term time frame range, that being held below about 41,100. If we go to the 3-hour, which I quite like as well, we do see downside pressure below 40,600, and hourly is probably going to be flippy-floppy, probably up right now, and it is up above about 39,700. So what does this align with? When we do see bifurcation between these lower-term time frame stochastic momentum, likely sideways, probably test the downside yet again, but I don't think that we actually have the momentum to really break just yet. If we're going to see a break to the downside, I do think that it likely happens next week. Not super married to that idea. Again, over the holiday sort of periods, I'm not like super interested in that. And then also another reason why I do think it'd be a little bit less likely to see this breakdown today, for example, would be the funny rates over here. If we go down to the hourly data feed, it is slightly negative. Again, we do expect negative rates during general downtrends, obviously, but But, just another small thing, again, on a slow holiday day, that does suggest that, while we probably do test down around there, I don't think that we will actually break it as of right now. So with that in mind, we should also now reference perhaps the hopium case, if you will. I do still think that there is a hopium case for Bitcoin. The biggest and most obvious precondition for this is going to be, of course, trading back above the 618 Fibonacci retracement from our overall range for the last few months here. Now, this would imply that any sort of a daily closure above $44,000 would essentially complete the bear trap, initiate targets up towards $51,000 to $52,000, somewhere right around here, probably a big pullback from there, and then general continuation towards, the upper 50s, like 56 to 57. Again, it's still possible as long as Bitcoin's kind of playing, basically not breaking its current lows, but and do understand, of course, on the 5-day over here, I think it's a little more obvious on CME, you can still make the argument that this is still just another higher low. I think that's probably not going to work out like that, but this would be sort of the look on it, right? Where you kind of crawl your way in, as long as Bitcoin just doesn't break below about $37,000 on any sort of a higher term time frame closing basis, that is still relevant, I suspect. And then also to that point, a little bit more on the hopium side as well, is the tether dominance chart over here. Now, the tether dominance chart has essentially hit our, well, I wouldn't say our, but at least my area where I am looking for a general pullback, kind of alongside Dixie as well on the higher term timeframes. The problem with this is that just like Dixie, I am long-term bullish on this, but I do think that we could see a greater pullback from this region down to the 360-ish region, maybe even down to the 3.25 region over a longer period of time. But these would still be, macro higher lows, obviously, on your higher term timeframes, and well, I'd have to be bullish on that long term, but basically, if you're wondering why this is relevant, well, the tether dominance typically plays opposite of Bitcoin's direction on the higher term timeframes. Same thing with Dixie as well, right here. I think I put out a Twitter chart on this one last night. It's getting back into the back end of our of our long term sort of pullback region. As I struggle for my words right there. Again, same thing on this one. I'm massively bullish on this long term. Like I really do think that this is probably going to gun for $1.08, $1.11, like in the following years. 3 to 5 years. Who knows how long this takes? This is a quarterly chart right here. But short term on the monthly, I wouldn't be surprised over the next few months we see a pullback, plays back down maybe like the 382, and then gives another try to the upside. But again, the quarterly, long-term, higher-term timeframes, incredibly bullish. Hidden bullish evidence on the quarterly, almost, we've rarely seen that happen. And the last time we did see it happen was a big move over here. And then BBWP volatility has never been lower, basically. So yes, and of course that can be combined with the other underlying market dynamics, which does make me really consider the strength of the bearish case probably over the next few weeks here, especially as we do see the daily BBWP kind of go into a bit of a contraction posturing here. It's not below the moving average just yet, but it is losing its expansive phase right there. So ultimately, what am I basing this off of, and what could we what could I base the majority of this analysis off of? It's actually one of the underlying market dynamics. It's going to be the global open interest. I've gone through this spiel a million goddamn times. I don't want to bore you with the details of it, but basically, anytime that we have seen global open interest get above 13.5 billion, which represents leverage positions, plus a local high being confirmed, which yes, we did certainly confirm one. That was the relevance of the $44,500 region earlier this week, making me quite bearish on this. Well, we have seen at minimum a 20% pullback, at maximum, or and as much as like 50% pullback. As of right now, we played out certainly the majority of that 20% pullback. So far about 18.37. I mean, you could definitely argue that that's enough. If you wanted to go for like the full 20%, that does put Bitcoin at the bottom side of the of the general daily range. So obviously that would be relevant for the short-term time frame, saying that we probably do break down over time perhaps, but also to that point, the big thing for myself is that on this global open interest over here, I do not consider it reset, or at least historically it has not been reset for that sort of unraveling of leverage positions until it gets down to at minimum about 10 billion. I do suspect that over time that will naturally be a higher number, but for right now, I'd feel a lot more comfortable maybe potentially calling a major low if we saw open interest kind of reset down around to those regions. For right now, for reference, it's actually at 12 spot, almost 8 billion. In fact, sorry, no, it's actually closer to 13 billion if we go down to the hourly feed, 12.9 billion to be exact right there. So quite interesting. And it does make me still consider, the strength of the bearish case more long-term here. Again, understand long-term is long-term, not really relevant to like the hourly or the 4 hour, for example. Anyways, as far as that goes, what we should be looking for or sorry, what we should be looking at now is looking at the higher term time frame case, of which we can go to the daily over here. Daily stochastic momentum will actually turn back down again in the critical zone, and this would be again a corrective signal right here. So I don't think it's like super powerful just yet. I think at most, if you were to see it, hit, we'd probably trade down to like 37.5 or something like that and bounce. But it will turn back down below about 39,730 right here. Obviously, CME is going to be from higher, but CME is not trading today and will not be trading until Sunday when it opens up for pre-market. But that one's pivoted at 42,700, so very likely still staying down. Anyways, the big focus of today and really what the focus of this whole video should be is the 5-day signal over here. It still has not left us. The 5-day volatility versus momentum chart. I want to once again explain this, maybe not in full detail, but basically the 5-day BBWP representing volatility. Anytime that we've seen it get down to the teens, or especially even lower than that, the expansive phase from that extreme condition has led towards a pretty significant move, an average move of about 45% to the upside or the downside from that expansive portion over the course of the next, on average, about 40 to a little bit over 40 days, actually. We have still yet to see the expansive phase from this. I need to see, at minimum, a positive slope on the BBWP, and then also above the moving average, as well as a positive slope. We almost got it over here. I got pretty excited about it, but no, that was not it. We still have yet to see it, and it'd be very much relevant to say that because we have seen BBWP this low for this long, the expansive phase in comparison to the last few ones is probably going to be more ridiculous or more powerful, if you will. So while the last few ones did about 40 to 50%, this one probably is going to be on the upper end of that, maybe even more as well. Anyways, the big thing to kind of get a bias on direction for this is this right here, is the 5-day stochastic momentum. It has been working incredibly well. Again, we backtested this for the past couple of years here, or 2.5 years, I suppose now. We can do this more, of course, as well, but I think this is enough. And basically all of these shifts in momentum correlated with the expansion of that 5-day BBWP has gotten those major moves perfectly. Doesn't mean it's always going to work out like that, but good enough is good enough as far as I'm concerned. And if we do look at it over here, 5-day stochastic momentum is going to be closing today, and it will potentially cross down today as well, also playing out a trendline regression test right here with any sort of a closure below $43,000. So understand that, as long as Bitcoin's, especially below the lower term time frame resolution point, which I have at minimum at $41,000 on a 4-hour closing basis, it's very, 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 very far away. Now, the thing is that if Bitcoin can close above about $41,000 on a 4-hour, or if you want to be a little bit more conservative than 41.5, which probably is the better way to do it anyways, then actually I would be targeting around $43,000. So it's not impossible, obviously, but it is, in my opinion, quite improbable as of right now. And if we do see that cross down, then I'd still need to see the expansive phase of the 5-day BBWP. But if we get that signal, well, probably looking at, if we're going off of history here, 45% move about to the downside over the next month to month and a half, which would put Bitcoin at around $25,000. Anyways, that's your nice positive message of the day. Make sure to sign up on Bybit, get wrecked fucking there, and goodbye. Sorry. Sorry, man. Couldn't help myself. Having a good time right now. I'm going to finish off the rest of this, and then we'll get into the comments. Let me just go back on over here. We can take off the drawing tools for right now. Guys, I'm so short on this market. World War III narrative going down this week. What? It's what? Elsa starts saying what when she doesn't know what to say, and I'll get it, and then it sounds like quack 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 quack. And then she laughs like Santa Claus. Do I laugh like Santa Claus? I don't think I do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Ha 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 ha. Have you seen your hair? Like what you have to realize, like, the conversations that go on in our household are must be so fucking bizarre to anyone else out there. Holy shit. Twitter talk, Krown. I don't want to talk about Twitter. I don't. Krown, what's your opinion on Elon Musk buying Twitter? I don't know. I don't fucking know. It's kind of cool, but I don't. I'm happy for him, He seems like a good guy. Anyways, we're going to start this one off with Mr. Joel H. He says, full moon is here. This shit is going up soon. Hey, man, appreciate that. Thank you for that nice positive message. Maybe, I mean, the moons have been good in the past. I don't think that they've had the best hit rate recently, but hey, fair enough, man. I'm all for the hopium as well, man. I'm all for the hopium as well. Although, well, Well, I think I did actually short a shit ton of out the money calls on Ribbon, and they should be expiring in about hour and a half here. So after that, then hey, play out your fucking moons and everything. That's great. Anyways, Mr. Venegas is back. He says, "Hello, sir. What's up, man? I'm not a stock person, but I went in on one talked about last stream after your analysis and looking at the chart. Can you look at ATER? Okay, so this was a stock." ATER, Ethereum on NAS, and you're saying, okay, I went in at 495. Oh, you're looking good, man. And sold half at 625. Dude, fucking phenomenally done. Oh yeah, I remember this one. We were saying it was probably going to go up more, but long-term absolute garbage. Do I think it could go up more? I think it could go up more to like 775, but you know, it's like think about it this way, man. You're kind of like squeezing water from rocks at this point, at least in my opinion. Now, of course, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not going to make the fucking trade for you. This is your personal preference, but this is a great place for a nice little short-term pullback and potentially another macro lower high. I'm never going to be aggressive on a chart that looks like this, which is absolute fucking garbage. Here's your real chart on linear scale. So ultimately, I think you made a phenomenal trade, man. Enjoy your profits. Like that was really good. So yeah, cool. Yeah, someone else asked about that on the prior stream. Interesting. Cool to see that it worked out, but yeah, I just don't trust charts that look like this, man. This is fucking garbage. If I had to put my money on it, I do think over a long enough period of time, you're coming back down below $4. You know, and if you do get another drive of continuation, you might extend that 6.25 high all the way up to like 775, $8 or so, which, you know, is a big move, yes, but I think you got a really good portion of that move, and you know, personally speaking, I'd just be happy with that, but you know, fair enough, right? Steve Green Comedy says, "Sir, love the content. Thanks, man. Is Rubik going absolutely cubic? What does that even mean?" Is Rubik going cubic? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? All right, so it's this thing over here. We can, oh, you want to go to Kraken. Okay, we do that. We do that. Kraken. All right, there we go. And it basically has no chart. What the fuck, man? I do not have an opinion on this chart. It hasn't been around long enough. There's no time frame given, and there's really no time frames that I really trust any amount of analysis on this to begin with. I would immediately be a bit more on the skeptical side, given its lack of history and the majority of the time it seems to go down. Maybe we can find the same chart on Gate.io and it has more history. It does have more history here. It's certainly not as bad here as well. Long term, again, not a fan of this chart long term. Is it going cubic? No, I think it's coming back down to like 27 and a quarter or so. I would not be looking at this as going cubic. If you, I don't know, is cubic good? Is it like getting squared? Like the price gets squared? I guess that would be good if it gets cubed. No, I don't think that, but here's where I'd start to, I guess, be looking at cubic price action incoming, which is above 39 cents. Until then, you're just operating on lower highs. You only have lower lows as well. Not a big fan of this chart. If I had to call right now, I think this one comes back down short term. And then if you actually break below about 25.5 cents, I'd be looking for this one to go for the full retrace on this last rally started in late March. Is Lucky getting out of control over there? But yeah, man, I really don't have super strong opinions on this one. Like whichever direction Bitcoin chooses, this one's likely to follow. If I had to call the direction right now, probably down. Ahmed says AVAX 4 on daily. Yeah, man. Love this channel. Love you, sir. AVAX. Okay, let me pull this one up. Good old Avalanche. Maybe record one on this one as well. Looks like our range is still playing out, so that's cool. we can record this one. Here we have Avalanche, symbol AVAX versus the dollar. We'll do the hopium and also the doom on this one. I believe that we hit our downside targets from when we last spoke about it. Basically back down to the bottom side of this range here. To be fair, on this asset right now, you are still creating, long-term higher lows, and you'll still be having higher lows as long as you're above about 68.5, let's say, on a daily closing basis. That is to say, I become extremely bearish. There is no more hopium on this one below 68.5. I look for big moves down towards $50, probably bounce there, and maybe more over time. By the same token, the hopium case is still alive as long as you have that, but is not confirmed until you're back above on your higher term timeframes, the $98 pivot right here. Above there, I look for this one to rally up towards 120 to 130. It looks really good. But of course, very far away right now. It would imply that it does kind of have to hold on its current lows. It can come back down and test it around here. That's fine. That'd still be another higher low. But but not really relevant towards the higher term timeframes just yet, of course. Anyways, we go to the lower term timeframes. What are we looking at right now? We got a short term timeframe range going on, obviously. Let me actually adjust this for the short term timeframe range. That'd be 81 and a quarter to the upside versus basically your current lows at 72 spot 85 to the downside. That is to say that if you do see a move back above about 81 and a quarter, I would actually be looking for this one to go on a nice rally. You'll probably see Bitcoin back above like 41 or 41.5 if that were to be the case. And I'd be looking for this one to go on a nice rally towards 85 to $87 or so short term, and that would be quite nice. So ultimately, this is kind of a long way of saying that I generally think that you're going to be going sideways here over the short term. Maybe give some one more test to the downside, and then if you pop back above here, play out the range a little bit more. But still, I do refrain from getting excited about something like this as long as you're below about $98. And to be fair on the daily, you did have a drive of hidden bullish divergence right here. It is not a strong drive. You're also going to a contraction phase on daily BBWP. This is a corrective move coming in here, but corrective within the context of this one is probably sideways and maybe a little bit of upside on the weekend or early next week. But again, be aware of where those major points are. And hopefully that was helpful for Apple, or maybe we actually go check it out over here. I'm just curious to see what momentum is looking like right now, and then we'll wrap this one up. Yeah, daily is already pretty damn critical down here. Will turn down below about 74.35. Okay, fair enough. 4 hour is nosediving below 80 and a quarter. 6 hour is gonna turn down below 78, and hourly is probably flippy floppy, but will turn down below 76.60. So fair enough. A little bit of sideways here, maybe one more test down towards your current lows, but I don't think you break it just yet. If you're going to break it, probably like later next week if that is relevant. So hopefully that was helpful, man. Cool. Paul Garrett says, next game you will stream. Man, if when Elden Ring gets DLC, I will definitely stream that or any equivalent game. Man, that game was so fucking good. It's so fucking good that I'm actually content watching other people play it. It's actually insane. Really bizarre behavior. All right, cool. Hey, looks like the LARP lines are working out here. What the fuck? Should we record near? I think that one's kind of popular. Why not, man? It's going to be a slow day anyways. Here we have Near Protocol. I believe it's Near, at least. Symbol NEAR versus the dollar. We recorded a video on this one, I believe, on Wednesday, putting in the old LARP lines there, saying maybe another test towards the top side at 17 and 3/4. We've gotten that, and then very likely a pullback from there. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Now, to be fair, long term, this is actually among some of the best charts that we've certainly seen in cryptocurrency land in the last few weeks. But pulling back into a higher low is completely fine. Now, where would I be looking for on a higher low? Maybe coming into next week, somewhere between like 13 and 3/4 and 14.75 or so. It's kind of where I'd be looking for. I would actually be long-term bullish on this, especially as long as you're above about 1280 long-term on any sort of a higher term time frame closure. And so yeah, I don't really have too much to add on to it other than that. I will be wrong about a pullback first before another try higher. If you do see a daily closure above 1770, if you see something like that, I'd be looking for another retest of your current highs in the 20s or so, and probably new all-time highs from there. This is actually very reminiscent of Luna, for example. On the short-term timeframes, what can we look at right here? Again, short-term, yeah, it looks to me like we're seeing a little bit of distribution around that that upper $17 region. I do expect that you're going to do something like this, where you do come down. And then it's just range resolutions. The next range being about $14.50. Probably be getting the next test down to $13.75 or so, if and when that level is lost. Until then, short term, we see some hidden bearish divergence right here. Volatility is still contracting, so I don't look at this as like super problematic, but yeah, it probably does pull back from this region. I still kind of stick with that. Daily sees volatility on the floor, and daily RSI is getting rejected from the bullish control zone. So I look at this as, again, more likely to pull back before another try to the upside. But again, do not confuse that with the long term. The long term on this one's actually one of the best in this in this space. I remain long-term bullish on this, especially as long as you're above, like, let's just say $13 to make it a nice round even number. Hopefully that was helpful, and there you go for Near. For Halloween, I'll dress up as a TA chart in my arms can be LARP lines. So you just go like this and swim around. That would be fucking silly, man. Nice. Carl Hungus says, Zer, I firmly request none of the money go to the bag fund. Holy shit, thank the Lord, man. There's enough goddamn rocks in this place already. I had to explain to Elsa's sister last night that what she's been doing, and her sister was shocked. But you know what? I know exactly what you're up to with those goddamn bags. I know exactly what you're fucking up to with those goddamn bags, collecting rocks and distributing them all over our apartment. Disgusting. Anyways, KNC USD on the 5 and 15 minute. All right, so we got rent to pay. It's Friday. But fair enough, man. Fair enough. 5 and 15. I don't know how much I'm going to trust on this thing. Targeting 4 on a full retrace by Monday. So back down here. Well, if you're trading the 15 minute, I probably wouldn't be looking at that big of a move. You got a pretty obvious range going on right here if you're trading the 15 minute, and that is pivoted at 434 actually. Any sort of a closure below there, I wouldn't necessarily target $4, but I'd target 420 actually. Great number. By the same token, you do have a range resolution to the upside at about 460. You know, as long as they're holding sideways here, technically speaking, should be neutral on it. But yeah, I do lean towards the downside on this one. Mostly due to the rest of the market, and mostly because this one is, I'm guessing, a Shiite coin. Sorry, I mean like shit coin, not. Hey, actually, it's pretty good here though. What the fuck? What the fuck is this bullshit? Actually, pretty good here. Okay, I'm wrong on that, man. This is actually pretty good. But that's not relevant to you. I do think that you will hit around your target, probably like 420 to 4.25 though. I think if it starts to come actually lower than that, you're not just going to come down to $4. You're going to come down to like 390 to 395, which is kind of a relevant move for you. So hopefully that maybe helps a little bit. Let's see. I think we have Dean H next. He says XRP USD for daily weekly. Oh dear Lord, we got the Ripple crew. The Ripple crew is back in the house. Ooh. 4 on daily and weekly. Okay. Daily, potentially a higher low right here, so not bad. Contraction phase on daily BBWP, so not the best signal, but probably does at least range a little bit. 4-hour time frame, this would be a great place for a nice little short-term pullback. Hidden bearish divergence available all the way as long as you are below about 79.5 cent. Probably do look for this one to pull back down towards 75.5 or so. You are starting to deal with extremes on 4-hour BBWP as well, and then you're also looking at a weekly. Let's see. Weekly is interesting here. Actually, the weekly is really, really interesting here. I would actually be quite comfortably bullish on Ripple if you could see any sort of a higher term time frame closure above 86.5 cents, and that would imply, you know, moves back up actually around $1, maybe even above $1. And to be fair, it still holds its higher lows. Like it's, you know, for all the hate that Ripple gets, it's actually it's not one of the worst charts as of right now. So kind of wrapping it up, I would be looking for maybe a short-term pullback, but I kind of look at this as, I guess, a higher low, especially as long as you're above 75 cents. As long as you're above 75 cents, I think that there's a bit of hopium. I would call continuation to like 85 cents if you do see a 4-hour closure, even above like 80 cents. A little bit above 80 cents would be good. But yeah, first, probably a bit of a pullback right there. Let's see, Decred, nice name, and actually that's a really sweet avatar too, but no comments, so I will say thank you and move on. Oh no, I see. Okay, I see. Just wanted Krown to say a quick funny joke for us noobs. You want a funny joke, huh? I know how to make you laugh, sir. I don't have anything off the top of my head, man. You put me on the spot. You can look at shitty charts, man. That's a joke. Elizabeth J says, could you look at SHIB, please? Oh, what? Speak of the fucking devil. Here we go. Here's a... What? A daily on SHIB coin. SHIB. Why don't they just call it why don't they just call it what it is? Which shit. I actually do think it's going to rally from here. Let's see. Hold on. Maybe we'll go down to the lower term timeframes first before I call something like that. Okay, I will be wrong about a rally. Probably back up towards like 2,700. If you do see a 4-hour closure below 25, I'd get it actually very, very bearish on this. Targeting your lows of this week back down towards what is this, like 2,200 or so. Maybe lower than that, but actually do see, you know, alongside a lot of things in this market, a slew of higher lows right here. You know, I do think you're going to at least try a bit of sideways and probably a little bit of upside, but I would not call any sort of a daily breakout, even short term, as long as you're below 28. Above 28 is where things start to change around a bit, and I would actually extend targets up towards 3,150 to 3,200 or so. Long term, though, you know, what is SHIB coin? It's a fucking joke. It's a shit coin. It's garbage. But, you know, it really has no business being traded. It's just personal opinion, obviously, but doesn't mean that you can't make money trading it. So in this case right here, I actually do kind of respect it short term. As long as that condition is being met, Do keep in mind, though, if Bitcoin pulls back, if we see the conditions for Bitcoin met, then I'd be looking for this one to fail and probably fail miserably. So keep your eyes on the 2500, the 2500 pivot right there, basically. Yeah, just above 2500. Any sort of a even medium or lower term time frame closure below there, and I would be looking for this rally to be unraveled, and probably does what it was doing beforehand. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful though. I'm actually just curious for my own knowledge. What does Doggy Coin look like nowadays?
You did XRP, right?
Yeah, I did XRP. Yeah, Doggy Coin still looking like garbage as well. Yeah, fair enough. All right, cool. Let me scroll around. Okay, I see. Well, yeah, BK, we already got near, so we're good there. Jeremy R says XYO, monthly and daily. Okay, I'm doing the green ones, but there's some above where you were, so I'm just I'm gonna hit those really quickly. Terrible, also terrible, but not enough history really. Yeah, I think they are though. Well, I think like if they join the channel, then they get that. So that's okay. Anyways, daily, I'm not a fan of this chart, man. This is fucking garbage. Heavily bearish as long as you're below 2.5 cent. There's just nothing bullish about this long term. Doesn't mean that you can't see rallies up to like 2 cents for a bit of a bull trap with hopium implied. But the only redeeming feature about this thing is that it's basically retesting its all-time lows. So you typically get a pity bounce there. Kind of already got that in March, right? So I'm pretty damn bearish on this thing below like basically 2.5 cents. Above 2.5 cents, I would look for a nice rally. Again, rally not the same thing as reversal. In fact, I'd just be looking for lower highs, but it could rally quite a fair bit towards like 3.3 to 3.5 or so. But that would be a big sell to me. Generally long term, I think that you're going to see more of the same. Maybe something like that. Pretty ugly. Cool. All right. Yes, says Dissynthetic. Nice, man. There he is, Faraz. What's up, man? Ma'am, why don't you like meat rolls that form at the back of a bald man's head? If Krown wants to go Vin Diesel, let him. No hat, no hair transplant. Thanks, man. I appreciate the vote of confidence, but Elsa's just she's so racist against bald people. It's disgusting. Anyways, Jay Header says, hey, Krown, I found this interesting. Draw your fibs from March 2020 low to 69,000. Okay, let me pull up a fresh chart here.
So you did Jeremy R, right?
Which one did he request? Yeah. Okay, I need to put this on fib here. Okay, so March 2020 lows. So from here to our highs. Okay, yeah, I mean, it generally gets the ranges right. Let me actually get this properly. Yeah, generally gets the ranges right. I mean, you got the 29,000 getting your lows right here. Got the 0.5 at 37, which you can see a lot of price action kind of pivoted around there. Got like 44.5, at our current highs right here. And that's, one of the major resolutions for myself. I don't have anything to add on to that, but yeah, should be, okay, you want to reference the 0.23. And I'm actually drawing this as a bullish retracement, which it actually should be. This would not be wise to do as a bearish retracement, in fact, because this is quite literally an uptrend. But yeah, I can already visualize that a 0.23 would be right around here. Yeah, I mean, it's good confluence, right? It's good confluence, but you've actually seen me, or you probably noticed I've been backing off on talking about a shit ton of pieces of confluence with a bunch of different indicators, not because it's not relevant or not because it's not helpful, or I actually don't think that it's helpful, because then it kind of gives people the idea that you need to be looking at like 50 fucking different indicators, and honestly, no more than 3 is needed. But yeah, it would be good confluence, obviously. I'm generally looking down around there if we do see the meltdown happen to the downside, with bounce along the way, 35, 30, and probably around there. Yeah. Yeah, fibs just fucking work, man. A lot of people ask, like, why do fibs work? It's just the way that a lot of bots and algos are programmed, basically. Anyways, Bruce Wayne Jr. says, start my mornings with your channel. Nice. Criminally underrated. Hey, man, all good. We like to keep it a bit of a secret here, man. You have to find your way to this channel. Goblin Town for 2022. There's no way for me to know, but I do lean towards a greater correction, just in general. Adam, weekly and monthly. Maybe a little bit more for something like this, if I recall what this. Actually, no, this one isn't like the worst chart. It's actually long term one of the better charts, certainly. Look, I guess Goblin Town, if you're on the long term, gets initiated below about 22 bucks for right now. You still got a bit of hopium. The hopium is that you hold your lows right here, but quite literally anywhere below 22 bucks on any sort of a respectable time frame closure. I'd look for this one to go for big retracements down into the mid-teens, probably even finds its way down to like 11, 12 bucks longer term. But, you know, to be fair, this chart, you know, longer term, one of the better charts actually. It does hold its higher lows. Not bad, but doesn't mean that's going to be immune from like a general market correction or crash. And, you know, for what it's worth right here, like this is not super strong price action. This looks like distribution, but probably going to take a long time to play out if I had to guess. And by long time, I mean, you know, months, man. Truco Production says waves daily and 4 hour. Are we looking at a daily bounce soonish? I mean, I think that generally the market's going to bounce after the short-term timeframes, maybe retest around the lows. I mean, we've kind of already got that in the early morning hours here, but, you know, maybe one more time over the weekend and then a bit of a bounce. Anyways, 4 on daily. We're looking at a daily bounce soonish. Well, what would we be saying on that? Yeah, again, whenever I see extremes on daily BBWP, especially twice, like kind of close to each other, and then it's back below the moving average, you're probably going to be looking at a corrective move in the opposite direction. I mean, daily jewel on this thing has like never been lower. It's going to be really difficult to keep up the momentum on this one. Okay, it's been this low one other time. That was August 2018. Where was that? That was right before this pretty big pump right here. Did eventually go lower over the, you know, in the next 4 months, but did lead up to a nice pump. Anyways, yeah, I do think that you probably do see a nice bounce here. Maybe over the weekend, bounce can come up even to like 30 bucks and still be pretty ugly. Yeah. Other than that, I really don't have a strong opinion on it. But if the question is quite literally just daily bounce soon, you know, you might see one more move down towards like 19.5, but I do suspect that you're going to be bouncing relatively soon. Bounce is certainly not the same thing as reversal, but, you know, could easily bounce towards 29, maybe even low 30s, like 33, and then probably lower high, and then the rest of the market, you know, takes over, right? If you're looking at a 4 hour, which I think you asked about, I really don't have a strong opinion on the 4 hour. If I do, it's short term, one more move to the downside based off of the hidden bearish divergence right there, and volatility pretty low. So probably does swipe the lows, or maybe create a slightly lower low. I think I said 19.5. It's kind of where I'd be looking towards. Yeah, somewhere around there maybe, and then probably bounce. Cool. I didn't hear a joke. The joke was SHIB chart, man. I don't you're putting me on the spot, man, making me feel self-conscious right now. Oh, I missed this one over here. Webby says, if LT bullish, what's LT? Bullish Dixie Rue. What the fuck? What are you saying, sir? I don't understand your form of English. Dixie slash RU. What the fuck is RU? LT. Okay, what is LT? LT USD. I don't know. Is this no, this is not Litecoin. Can you be more specific with what ticker that you're looking at? Are you looking at this, like that trades on India, just a random company? I don't know. Do you mean Litecoin? I would assume that you'd put a C in there, but Litecoin's still garbage as always, but I won't say that online because it incites the mob, man, and don't want to deal with that. Anyways, I'll move on until you tag Elsa and clarify. Tyler Moore says Mover monthly long-term investment. Oh, on Moon River. Oh, that sounds like a really great idea. Moon River, huh? This looks like a great straight down fucking chart. Long-term investment, like what? Long-term investment? Who the fuck sold you on this shit? Worst chart of the day, actually. Literally the worst chart of the day. The reason why it's the worst chart of the day is because even though we've seen some other charts that go straight down as well, is that this one's been going straight down for a very long time. In fact, this one has gone straight down in some of the most bullish fucking markets known to mankind. Garbage. Absolute fucking garbage. Absolute fucking garbage. Monthly. There is no monthly on this bullshit. But I would feel very confident in the next year that you will see lower. How much lower? Don't fucking know. All bounces are just garbage as long as you're below 130. Shit, make that 150. Just terrible. Absolute terrible. Long term. But hey, you know, maybe you believe in the fundamentals. That's a different game, and it's got great fundamentals. Although I suspect, given its name, Moon River, questionable, man. Very questionable. Moon River. You can usually tell by the names. It's like, it might as well be called like Get Rich Coin. It's like, what? Like, who comes up with these names? Anyways, Rhyme Nocero says, hey man, how's NASDAQ weekly looking? Hey man, Finland's great right now, man, despite the Russians encroaching. But yeah, we can look at NAS. I think it's this one right here. Weekly closed on the lows, never a good sign, especially coming into a holiday weekend. Very likely does lead towards continuation Monday, Tuesday, if I had to guess. I would be looking for this one to come down to 13.750. I don't like the rejection right there. Like, that was the area to not get rejected at. Can I find some hopium on this one? I think that you'll generally see another drive to the downside to open up the new. I mean, it's a bearish, or it wasn't a bearish engulfing, but closed on the lows on a Thursday leading into a holiday weekend. It's usually the opposite, and you get kind of like a free ride. But in this case, I'm looking lower to open up next week, and probably a short-term bounce of a 13.750. I guess the hopium is that you reverse there and pop back about 14.330 or 330, and and then this is a big bear trap. Possible, definitely possible, but as long as you're below 14.330, I would say risk does remain lower. 14.330 is where I start to switch my opinion around towards, hey, this might actually be a major mega bear trap, and probably moving back up towards like 16,000 plus if that were to happen. But I think that that's unlikely for what it's worth. But hey, my opinion does not create price action. Price action creates price action, right? Mr. Venegas says, can we revisit OGN USD? Sure, 4 hour and daily. I believe so, yes. Yeah, all the green ones, yeah. All right, you're on a 4 hour and a daily. Okay, I remember we looked at this one like the last time for you, but where were we? Just a range. Bounced off the bottom side of the range, trading towards the top side of the range. I really don't have much to add on to this, man. I'm not bullish on this one until you're at minimum closing dailies above like 69 cents. At that point, I do look for rallies up towards maybe even $1 actually, probably just shy of $1. Long term, don't like it. Short term, if we go down to a 4 hour, looks like a local high in the making. This local high will be hey, get the fuck out of my face. This local high will be confirmed below 51.5 cents with targets back down towards your lows of the week at 47. But I refrain from like calling this one a failure just yet until you're below specifically, what is this, basically 47 cents, just below 47 cents on a daily closing basis. At that point, this is your next major lower high. But for what it's worth right now, I think it has a chance to kind of trade a bit more sideways here and try another move towards the upside. Okay, is there any obvious signals right here? Yeah, that'll be completely invalidated below 51.5 cents. Local high confirmed, back down to the lows at that point. Other than that, really no strong opinions on something like this. The daily does suggest one more move to the upside, maybe. One more, just based off the bullish evidence right there. To be fair, you've already got certainly the majority of that move, and I wouldn't feel too confident on it anyways, given the daily BBWP signal. Yes, Decred says, Dogamy is a pyramid scheme. Stay safe, noobs. I'm not surprised. Granted the name, man. Granted the name. Okay. Let's see. Carl Hungus says, my chat was skipped. No, man. I read it. Oh, okay, cool. All right. Let's see. Ben says, DOP, D-O-P, from Gate.io. Low, medium, and high. All right. DOP. Okay. All right. Just looks like one massive long-term range here. You're kind of in the middle of that range, so it wouldn't be wise for me to say that it's bullish nor bearish. Now I generally lean towards another test towards the downside on this one, down towards like $2. Lower term time frames like a 4 hour. I would call a short-term nice move to the upside with targets up towards shallow $3, like 310 to 315. If you do see a 4 hour closure above 265, until then, I think you're generally going to be trading sideways here. Do something like this, maybe test and probably test around the lows. If you do close below the lows, in this case about 202, I would be looking for a big move down, like a big move down actually towards the 170s. Until then, like if I had to call it, I'd say that this looks a lot like distribution, but there's just not enough history to really be doing like a long term on this one, or let alone a fucking daily. kind of a long way of saying I don't like it as long as you're below 265. Above 265 though, this starts to morph into something a lot better, and we'll have targets back up towards the shallow threes. Hopefully that was helpful, man. Cool. Jay Header says AMP daily and 4 hour. All right. Let's see. Where's this one? I remember this one's best on Gemini, perhaps. 4 hour and daily. Let's start off with the daily. Terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible. Really, 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 really bad. But you are kind of on, or you're very close to a bouncy-ish region. Let me make a nice little liquid zone right here. Something like this. I mean, you're really, really close to a nice bouncy region. The question is, do you get another leg down to the bottom side of it at like 2 cents first or not? Maybe. I really don't have a strong opinion on this one because you could just as easily bounce right here. My main point is I do think that you're going to bounce before any sort of like catastrophic breakdown, but I do think that you are going to have a catastrophic breakdown over a long enough period of time, if you will, probably down towards like your 1 cent regions. But I do think you're very, very likely to bounce off this region, whether you're having it right here or maybe a little bit lower from 2 cents. You will be building up naturally some pretty big drives of bullish divergence on daily RSI. So maybe one more drive to the downside somewhere in this pocket here, and then very likely a bounce. Any bounce that fails to get back above, especially like 2.9 cents, is just a failure and very likely to lead towards that downside continuation long term. Short term, like a 4 hour week, I do think that you're probably gonna test a little bit lower first. If I had to base things off of the 4 hour here, but I don't think that you're gonna break down fully from this area just yet without like a general bounce, if you will. Okay, cool. Kenny Renardi says Gene USD on FTX for and daily. Okay, GENE US derp. Okay. What the fuck's funny about that? Geno pets. Ooh. Again, ranging at best. Low side of the range is 11.5. High side of the range is 1390. Above 1390, I do look for this one to go on some pretty significant rallies, actually. 1575 to $16, or sorry, 16.5 actually. If that were to happen, you do have some hidden bullish divergence right here, but that would be completely invalidated below about 11.5 on any sort of a medium or higher term time frame closure. 4 hour time frame. I'm not getting too much from this, but I would actually even look at a 4 hour resolution above 1390 as likely to lead towards that major continuation. Again, you probably see Bitcoin above about 41 if that's going to happen as well. Until then, I'm not humongous fans of charts like this, obviously, but I can't get super bearish on it until you're back below 11.5 on like especially like a daily. Below there, I look for big moves down well below $10 towards 970. Would be like my first target, and then 885 or so, more long term. Other than that, I guess the hopium is alive as long as you remain above that pivot, but not the most comforting chart of all time with the lack of history. Christina P says, good morning. Hey, good morning to you too. Purchase TA program. Nice. And Discord link doesn't work. You can, the best thing to do would be to email support at crowntrading.net. Okay, Elsa's got it. Yeah, the Discord can be a little bit tricky because like we have this alt identifier bot that will kick you if you don't do a few things prompted in the private message that they send you upon joining. So if you're unsure of how to make that work, then you can go to the channel page here on YouTube, and there's a video that will automatically play titled like Discord entry or something like that, and it'll kind of walk you through how to do it. But yeah, I know it can be a little bit annoying, but we had to instate that because there's just like too many bots coming into the Discord and like spamming their bullshit. Kenny Bernardi says move MOV. Okay, this it's a new one for me. Dot moves. What the fuck, man? 4 hour and daily. Again, another chart that it just doesn't really have much history for a daily. If I had to call it, I think you come back down to like 1.95 cent. 4 hour, anything more obvious? Yeah, 4 hour shows a little bit of downside, but not a full breakdown just yet. Somewhere around like 1.9 to 1.95. I do call a breakdown below 1.75, and I would be looking for the whole rally to fall on over back down towards, well below a cent over time. It'd probably take like a while, but for right now, it's like, short term down, probably gives another bounce around there. If the bounce flips back around and trades back above like 3 cents, I'd be looking for this one to put in a nice rally towards north of 5 cents, between 5 and 6.5 or so. Other than that, I mean, I just don't trust charts that look like this in general. Oh, there he is. What's up, Mr. Alex Switch? Good to see you, man. Well, is the higher low in on SPY futures? I mean, I'm gonna guess it's probably similar to NAS here. Is the higher low in? I mean, doesn't look like it to me, man. Like this to me is continuation to the downside. You know, I would only call a low right here if you do trade back above yesterday's high, which is 44.55. Above there, I'd actually confirm this is like a mega bear trap with targets back up towards, you know, 4,600 plus, and probably trades back up towards like 47 if that were to happen. So, you know, it's possible, but it is hopium right now, at least in the way that I look at things. Generally speaking, you know, I mean, you kind of got a reversal pattern in right here. I don't really call it too many head and shoulders, but this probably would work out as one on SPY. I think that generally speaking, you're probably going to test around 43.30 next week. Oh, lower high. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah. I would say it is a lower high right here. Yeah. Closing below that low from 21st of March, not a sign of strength. Yeah, I generally think you're going to see lower here. So that's invalidated is what I should say, above 44.55. And that would be kind of like my bear trap conditions. Until then, I think you're generally trading down, and you're probably going to see a meltdown on this thing if you do see any sort of like a higher term time frame closure below about 42.80. Pretty ugly right there. But, you know, one step at a time, obviously these things move a little bit slower than our prized cryptocurrency bullshits. Anyways, Nick Sands says, Litecoin, please. Oh, dear Lord. My short isn't going too well. Well, depends where you short it from on the 4 hour. Well, if you shorted at any time in the past year, you're doing pretty well. If you shorted at any time in the past day, not doing too well. You know, I mean, you got a higher low right here, obviously. 4 hour BBWP starting to cool off a bit. I'm inclined to say that this one, I mean, look, you still are on lower highs. Yes, maybe go down to an hourly to see something maybe a little more obvious. And it's always gonna trade with Bitcoin, right? But I'm not seeing any really concerning things here that make me think that it's gonna trade down first. I would expect to see like hidden bearish divergence on lower term timeframes. We don't see that just yet. This one will actually have some pretty some pretty significant continuation to like 116 to 117 region if you do start to trade back above yesterday's high, which is 112.32. Above there, I do look for that continuation. Until then, I guess, you know, I guess you still got trend in your favor. But yeah, I don't know where you got in from, but yeah, I don't know where you got in from, but not really the best place to be shorting if you were. Yeah, if it was any time recently here. I mean, the majority of that move played out yesterday, man. And it actually called like a medium-term reversal back above 112.32. So, and that's probably gonna have targets more like towards 116 to 117. Let me see over here. I'm just curious because I mean, if Bitcoin trades to the short-term downside, this one will very likely follow. I'm not really getting anything like super obvious right now. 4 hours shows downside momentum below 110, which you're currently trading above actually right now. Daily is, yeah, pretty coiled up right there around 103. It really wouldn't take too much to get this one on a greater bounce. 12 hour, same thing. 6 hour turns down below 109.5. Yeah, I actually think that you're gonna. I wouldn't call this one a short-term lower high until you close an hourly delta below 109. Below there, I think you got a pretty good short on with targets back down towards 107 to 106. But yeah, tight margins on something like that, man, especially on like a holiday. Not for me. Go down to Goofy Dude. Goofy Dude says, Moon River is fire compared to Apollo coin, APL USD daily chart. Dear Lord, APL claims to be the XRP killer. Lamo, best. Okay. Oh God, what am I walking into now? Apollo currency. Oh, fuck my asshole. Oh my God. No, I think Moon River is worse though, because this one, it's only ever gone down, but it hasn't gone down as much, let's say. Let's see, what's the consolation prize here? This is on log scale, by the way. Okay, it's gone down 84.5%. What's Moon River done? Like this honestly does look worse to me, but let's see. Top to bottom. 91.5. Moon River's the winner, sir. I don't know. I disagree. Apollo coin bullish compared to Moon River. I'd buy this chart. Let's see. Can I even do this? Wait. This is Apollo coin versus Moon River. Nope, invalid. Fuck it. Pretty ugly though, man. I know what you mean. God, like where? What? Ugly. Just fucking ugly, man. Probably gonna bounce soon though. Maybe one more drive to the downside first. Actually, probably one more drive to the downside first. It's like the RSI, man. It's never been this low, but it's probably gonna go lower first. Fucking ugly. What actually is this? Even though scams get to pump in this market, this thing doesn't even get a pump. David Snari says, "Hey sir, can you look into your crystal ball? It's broken, man, and maybe give me the long-term analysis on UFO." Okay, UFO. This thing. Okay, we can try. Thanks, man. Weekly and monthly. There is no weekly and monthly to do on something that's been around for less than a year, let alone, less than like 5 years on timeframes like that. Very ugly here. Very, very ugly, for the higher term timeframes that we can see a little bit of. Yeah, I do not like this chart at all. Another chart that generally just goes down, distribution the whole way. You know, where's your lows coming in? Somewhere right around here at about 700. Your declining highs are pretty obvious here as well, right? Something like this. So, you know, you can see some rallies. Any rally up to like, what is this, 1,000 is, you know, to me, it's just another lower high before getting ready for lower lows. Confirmation of like significantly lower lows is below 700 or so. In the meantime, I think that you're just going to be bored to death doing something like this, and maybe just one more and, oh man, it's bullish. And then like right in your fucking face. So, oh man, it's bullish. I'm going to be rich. Why do I sound like Mickey? Because Mickey's a phenomenal trader and he knows where the crystal balls are. Yeah, ugly. Like, there is nothing redeeming about this chart as long as you're below 1,000, let alone 1,200. Above there, yeah, you probably see a nice move back up towards your prior range highs at like 18 to maybe even 2,000. But that's hoping, in my opinion, especially for an asset that's only ever gone down in one of the biggest bull markets in history known to mankind. I mean, it's just not a good sign. So yeah, hopefully that was nice and helpful. Kenny Bernardi says GMT USD. Gotcha. GMT. Oops. Okay. Maybe this. I don't know. Again, another chart with very little history. Not really much to be looking at on a daily, but it's certainly not as bad as the last few ones that we've seen. You know, full hour, I just look at it as a range. I feel like we did this one earlier this week and I should have a chart for it, but range lows, basically $2, range highs, basically 267. As long as you're trading within here, actually do favor the upside, but not confirmed until you're back above 267. I would call a short-term range resolution with an hourly closure above 230 with targets back up towards 240-ish. By the same token, I refrain from getting like super bearish on this one as long as you're above $2. Below $2, get ready for the fucking Bearzuka. Probably coming down like to 170 to 180 region. Really, really ugly right there. But, you know, again, kind of in the short term, similar to the other ones, like it's probably going to trade a lot of sideways here. It'd be boring if I had to guess. Hopefully that was helpful though, man. IR Brandon, what's up, man? Worst chart is STC USD. What is this? STC? I thought you were going to say Siacoin, but this is Star Chain on Bittrex. What the actual fuck is going on here? No. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. 150 down to 1 cent. Holy shit. 99%. Like, it really can't go that much lower because like 100%. Like it got down to half of a cent, not like it, like 1/2 of a cent from 150. It's 99.62% to the downside. That's insane. Yeah, that is the worst day of the chart award. Holy fuck. Can you tell him what he's won? He's won a oh yeah, fucking ugly, man. I'll stick around here for a little bit more time and then I'll sign off. I'm getting pretty hungry myself. Let's see. Okay. Hey, Christina. Yeah, we, oh, okay, cool. Let's see. Buy the dips. Yeah, buy the dip. It's just under a whale accumulation. That's what's happening. It seems like people don't have those sort of ideas nowadays compared to, you know, what it was in like in 2018. Because like I'd always hear stuff in 2018. It's like, man, this chart is under whale accumulation. It looks like a chart like this. Like, no, man, it's under distribution. And they're distributing on your face. I'll just read a few more of these comments over here. Let me pull them up. Let's see. I see some more shitcoin requests. We can do Luna really quick. Why not, man? It's always a popular one. Let's see. What's Luna's Tunas doing over here? It looks like the LARP lines are playing on this one. Okay, here we have Terra Luna symbol LUNA versus the dollar. I wanted to follow up on this one as we are getting our pullback that we were looking for earlier this week. And what are the subsequent targets based off of that? So I am looking for this one to generally come back down towards like 72 and a quarter, maybe even as much as 66, or sorry, more like 67. I think it's a little bit less likely, obviously. Probably coming into next week, but I would be looking for a bounce from those regions, and you know, this would still be higher lows to be fair as well. Long term, how is this chart looking? I do think long term you probably do end up pulling back. I do think that this is actually a major high right here, and I think at best for a while you're going to be playing out a major macro range, but very likely a big bounce somewhere around about 75. Let me just see where it was on this read right here. Okay, somewhere between about 75 and 72.5 is where I'd generally be looking for on the next bounce. And then if the bounce can reclaim back above, let's say 95, then I actually would be calling new highs on this one. But I do think this one's actually topped out for a while now, given the weekly. The weekly obviously has many drives of bearish divergence we identified coming into last week. And we've already hit two of the easy targets on that. The next one is 75 to 72.5 or so. So very likely a bounce there, but bounce is not the same thing as reversal. Let's see, short term, if we go down to like a 4 hour, we do have a range resolution on the short term time frame above 89.5. So any sort of a 4 hour closure above 89.5, and I would invalidate for the continuation to the downside and call a move back up towards actually that $95 pivot or so. So that obviously be the bullish look, the hopium look, but understand it's very far away. I think it's quite unlikely personally. And we're probably going to see, if I'm going to guess, higher term time frame stochastic momentum turning against this one alongside that bearish divergence, which is not a good signal here. And yeah, we do. Weekly stochastic momentum turns down below 94 bucks. Also kind of playing out a trendline regression rejection right there as well. 5 days is going to be, it's happening today below 106. So quite very likely barring a more than 20% rally before end of day here. Daily, you know, it's going to be flippy floppy, showing 83.5 as a pivot there. But ultimately, you know, what does that align with? Probably short-term sideways. But ultimately, any, you know, probably plays down to 75 to 72.5 before the next general bounce fight, I guess. Other than that, you know, it's had a nice run, and in long term, I do still look at it as one of the better ones long term, but understand that it can come down, you know, significantly more before another try to the upside, which probably takes a long time anyways. So hopefully that was helpful, ma'am. And there you go. Did my super chat for DGB disappear? I don't think I saw one. All right, we can look at Colt, and then maybe we go reference DGB, and then we'll probably, yeah, you can close them. It doesn't really matter at this point. Colt on BitGet. I mean, short term, okay. It's only got I mean, this is a 4 hour chart, man. There's really no history on this thing, but I do think that you are going to trade up from here, somewhere around like 29 to 3,000 ish region. I probably look for that to come down afterwards. Let's see. Let me replace that. Might as well ask for a potential short trade ape coin, huh? APE. Okay. Let's try this. UST. All right. I guess maybe FTX. I don't know. An hourly and a 4 hour. This would be a really good place for a local high. I'd actually be probably looking for this one to come back down towards 12.20 to 12.15 short term. I'll be wrong about that if you see any sort of a move above 12.60, and I'd call a continuation up towards 12.85 region. 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame, same thing basically. 4 hour time frame makes me think that this one comes back down to like 12 bucks or so. Really not much history here, as you already know though. All right, DGB. Yeah, we can do that just in case if he actually did hit that and we missed it, but you never know. DGB, haven't looked at this one in a long time. It's usually a piece of shit, and it continues to be a piece of shit. Wow, crazy. Maybe Bittrex is the one to go to on this one. I know because this one's been around for a very long time. Hey, it actually did a lot better in 2021 than I thought it would have. So that's actually a good sign long term. But no, this is your next lower high right here. Hidden bearish divergence. You know, I generally think that you're going to see back down towards 1.9 cent, 2 cent to 1.9 cent in the next month or two. Daily, you know, short term, are you bouncing here? Maybe. I don't really have strong opinions on this. My strong opinion would be on a short-term range resolution with a 4-hour closure above, sorry, not that area, but this area right here, 260, 265 or so. Any sort of a 4-hour closure above there, and I do look for this one to rally up just shy of 3 cents. Other than that's kind of like hopium right now. Other than that, I do think that you generally will come back down. I do think that this is your next weekly lower high in a series of some more recent lower highs, but long term, I'm actually quite surprised to see this. Like, certainly not as bad as what I would have considered long term. So that's kind of surprising to see. What else, sir? Also curious about Bcash right now. Oh dear lord, Bcash, huh? I can look at this just out of curiosity. Wait, I know that there's definitely a chart with more history than this, maybe Coinbase. Yeah, absolute garbage here. Absolute garbage. Long-term macro, just nothing redeeming about this thing as long as you're below $1,000. Didn't even get close to its 2017 highs in this past bull market. Just terrible signs. Terrible signs. Short-term, can you rally back up towards 380? Yeah, but I don't even call like a short-term range resolution to the upside until you're back above 390 minimum. At that point, I do look for moves back up towards 450 to 500, but you know, long term, it's like, would I call a reversal on something that's only ever really gone down and acted quite weak in the last bull market? No. But I would call a big move up above 395 with probably actually more towards 500 to 550 if I had to guess. Let's see. What? Oh. I mean, we can look at it just because like it's boring here, and well, yeah, but I mean, we're gonna end it anyways soon enough, and I'm interested to see what Hex looks like just to begin with. What are the Hexkins looking at right here? You got your nice bounce, so we're getting that. I think bounce could even continue up to like 14 and a half cents, but again, I remain pretty bearish on this below 16 cents. To be fair though, it is bouncing where you want it to bounce if you are going to see a bit of a reversal, so there is that. If you're on the short-term timeframes, as you requested, like a 4-hour, I think you should see a short-term pullback at around 13.90, 14 cents or so. Other than that, don't really have a strong opinion on it. Long-term, terrible, below 16 cents, but I mean, it's starting to show some signs that it actually might give another try up there. Hidden bullish divergence on that last low. Not super strong signals here, but hey, if you can trade back above about 16 cents, I'd extend targets up towards like 22 cents, which is kind of a big move. But again, that's still just another macro lower high. So to me, the question is, do you get another lower high right here, like right here where you're at, or does it come from like up here? Either which way, I do suspect that this one does still trade long-term to the downside, somewhere around like 8 cents or so. I mean, we've gotten really close to that target, and I had that target like back on over here in October. I don't know, it's like close enough at this point. Even then, I think best it would be doing is sideways for a while before maybe it reaccumulates, but yeah. When crypto simps again, I kind of had to stop it for a bit just because like I took on a few new projects, and so I had to maneuver some things around so I have enough time for everything to do. And you know, I have to reconcile that paid projects, you know, have to take priority over not paid projects. So for right now, you know, we've stopped for the time being. We might do another one next week, but we just need to get the right conditions and everything. Hey, what's up, Gabor? If you want your update on Bitcoin, sir, just scroll back to the beginning of the stream. It's right there. Hey, what's up, Amber? Good morning to you. Hello from sunny Dubai. It's probably getting super hot over there by this time, isn't it? It's April. When we were there in February, it was like almost 30. Jesus Christ. Insane. Fucking insane. It was actually really, really cool. We got to meet a lot of people in Dubai, Amber being one of them, in fact. Really, really cool. Really, really cool, actually. Elsa loved Amber too, because Amber showed her this like bag place where you get these fucking super nice bags and they're cheaper or whatever. It's like a whole. It's like Pokemon cards for girls is what it is. Like you just have to collect all of the shiny ones. Yeah, I think that might be it for today though. Wives were getting concerned about their relationships, so banned. Indeed. Third peak of 80K will send us to 15K. Do you promise? Like, how do you know that for sure, man? I'm always I'm always interested to know. Like, where do people get these ideas? Not saying that they can't work, but just like where, what, by what, by by why. Solana, we can take a quick look at Solana. I won't do a video on it or anything. Seems like Solana's really fallen out of favor, which typically is what happens when things stop going parabolic. Short term good above 107 and a quarter, with targets up towards like 120ish region. Until then, a little bit of sideways, probably downside, if I had to guess. Not a big fan of that weekly. Wouldn't be surprised to see this one trading back down closer to like 80 to 85 bucks. Hairy dude, how are you, Krown? I'm all right. Just dealing with my hair, man. The problem is all the hair is on my body, not on my head. So, it's a problem, man. Have you ever been to LA? I grew up in San Francisco. Of course, I've been to LA many times. Always sunny, always has great weather by the beach. Yes, but LA, crime, lots of crime. I do not want to deal with crime. I do not like. They tell people in LA now that like I read this thing recently saying that they've been telling people in Los Angeles not to wear, you know, like nicer clothes and stuff because you'll get robbed. That's coming from the police department. You know, like that to me is just so fucking insane. It's so fucking insane to me to even think of dealing with that. You know, once I've started to move over here to Europe and experience places like Dubai, where there's like literally no crime. Here, very, very little crime as well. It's like, I don't want to ever have to worry about that kind of shit. No amount of good weather is worth having to worry about getting robbed, which I've you know, I grew up in San Francisco. I've been robbed a few times there. Chicago, you know, these are like not just even not fucking safe places. Lucky's coming back in. We already looked at KNC. Lots of homeless as well, and I'm getting humped by dogs. That's like my biggest concern in Finland, is like dogs try to fuck my shoulders. So it's an issue, man. Mr. Venegas. All right, last of the last ones for Venegas. Krown, I still haven't started your programs, but I don't know if it's because I feel a little intimidated or because it's something new that I'll be doing. I mean, that's for you to decide, right? So it's best to just kind of start off slow, right? And decide, okay, is this something that I actually want to maybe be taking seriously and working on? You know, do I see this as like a path in life? Then yeah, you know, put in the effort, because that's the only way that you're going to get anywhere with anything, you know, not just trading, but any endeavor, right? But at the same time, you know, maybe you have like another job that you're more passionate about, that you see more of a future in, then yeah, it's not going to be relevant towards you. It's just going to be like something cool, maybe a little bit interesting, but not the priority, if I had to guess. So that's obviously for you to decide. For myself, like, obviously this is my life, like, you know, so for me it's, you know, it's a no-brainer, but obviously we're all different in that regard. We could actually end this one on Ethereum, simply because we haven't even looked at it, and it's like no one even gives a fuck about Ethereum no more. Okay, let's see, set this one up. Okay, Ethereum's actually very interesting right here. Very, very interesting to myself. Okay, let's go to the 5-day. Yeah, 2980. Okay. Here we have Ethereum versus the dollar. And this one is building up a pretty big signal that could be confirmed actually as soon as today upon the daily and 5-day closure. Any sort of a closure, essentially here or lower, but especially below 3,000, and I'd be looking for this one to retrace the majority of its March rally. That would imply targets back down towards 27 to 26, 2550 to perhaps as much as 2700 in this case. If that does get confirmed, we'll also see 5-day stochastic momentum turn down below about 2980. Daily's probably flippy floppy here, but still down below 3060. So, you know, short term, it wouldn't take too much for it to bounce. So this is still not confirmed. We do have to, or at least I would have to wait until daily closure, which is another 17 and a half hours away, basically. In the short term timeframes, what do we see? Short-term time frames has an obvious range going on. Basically, yesterday's high, same thing as Bitcoin, basically. Oh, I guess we already have it in there. Yeah, rejected right at the 382 at 31.25. So as long as you're below 31.25, I do look at the downside as a lot more likely. Bounces over the weekend can come up easily towards 30.60, maybe even 3100 even, no problem. But as long as it's below 31.25, I would say that risk does remain lower. Probably not in the short term, but maybe over the weekend, if you will. I would confirm downside continuation on a short-term time frame as in contrast to a higher term time frame like the daily or the 5-day, with any sort of a closure below 29.70. Below 29.70, I do look for the next drop off to occur somewhere between about 28.20 to perhaps as far down as about 27.90. And that would be kind of like the last case, the last case for the hopium, I suppose. As technically speaking, if you come down around there, you still got higher lows. Not the most strong signal of all time, but you would still have higher lows, to be fair. So in that case, I guess hopium can still remain as long as you're above that region on the higher term timeframes. Until then, I do think that risk does remain lower, and short-term timeframes, I do generally look at this one as likely to trade sideways, maybe back down, give another rally, and then perhaps next week trade down. I invalidate that with targets up towards, some pretty big targets actually towards 32.50, maybe as much as 33, somewhere between 32 to 33, with any sort of a 4-hour closure above yesterday's high, which is about 31.25 or so. If that condition is met, I do look for this one to give a rally first, and maybe this is your next major low here. But granted, the higher term timeframes, I do think that there's more risk lower rather than not. So hopefully that was helpful for Ethereum, and there you go. Cool. Mr. Venegas says, I've learned by picking and choosing from different sources so far, but regardless, it seems like the right choice. So thank you. Hey, man, my pleasure. And again, thank yourself, because at the end of the day, like whatever you're learning, whatever you're putting in, like that's your own doing, that's your own doing. So, as always, it's up to you, man. I can just give you my perspective, and naturally everyone's going to have different preferences, different perspectives. So all good in the hood from there. Anyways, I think that is a really good place to leave this one off. A nice positive message to end the day. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you for this week. We'll be back again next week, hopefully with some more interesting and new price action. Short term, again, probably looking at something like this, maybe another retest of lows. I don't think that we have the momentum nor the setup to really break the lows just yet. Probably initiates a bounce over the weekend. And then $41,000 is kind of like my big area for calling continuation with a major low confirmed right here towards 43 or so. But again, the big focus, at least for myself, is the 5-day, and the 5-day closing today anywhere below $43,000 does initiate a drastic shift in probabilities towards the long-term downside. Rather than upside. So hopefully that was helpful. And there we go for today. I want to wish everyone well. Thank you to our moderation squad. Thank you to all the good friends, Mr. Philosophian, Mr. Yasek, Mr. Decred, and we will be signing off until next week. And thank you, Lucky, as well. Take care, everyone, and stay safe, and see you hopefully soon.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, fix or pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, bend it, fork it, hype it, pump it, dump it, rinse, repeat, but quick relocate. Pause it, list it, send it, burn it, pump it, hack it, quick rename it, take it, take it, blend it, send it, swell it, sell it, flip, unflip it, see it, watch it, learn it, know it, post it, tweet it, and repeat it, chart it, long it, short it, hedge it, post prediction, quick erase it, watch it, leave it, watch it, leave it, check it, click it, and refresh it, find it, drop it, crack it, lose it, curse it, pay it, to it, pay it, bar it, chart it, hide it, fight it, deal it, seal it, and unlock it, back it, send it, change it, blend it, mine it, grind it, how it, list it, praise it, curse it, trash it, hash it, troll it, and upgrade it, take it, take it, blend it, send it, swell it, sell it, unflip it, see it, watch it, learn it, know it, post it, tweet it, and repeat it, chart it, long it, short it, hedge it, post prediction, quick erase it, watch it, leave it, watch it, leave it, check it, click it, and refresh it, write it, code it, name it, read it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post